This is some fucked up shit right there. So I bet you want me to answer the question of who am I? We'll eventually get to that. This video, this series, this everything is really fucking difficult to make because we gotta get raw and we gotta get honest and real and deep and dark and just all kinds of fucking twisty. I honestly, about 97% of the time, have no idea who I am. I don't really think anybody can say with 100% accuracy of who they are or what they're about. Because people are always changing and evolving, and I would argue that people can't change or they don't change, they just are who they are, and I need to vape in order to do this. I have gone through some really rough shit on this platform, and I have been evil, and I have been mean and cruel, and it was a way of getting out all of that anger and misery and pain and suffering and thinking that I could belong somewhere for once, because I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And that hurts a lot, to think that way and to feel that way, like you don't matter, like no one cares about you, like no one's watching or listening or gives a fuck if you live or die. That's painful. And it hurts a lot. I think as witches, a lot of us were brought to this path because of how broken and how damaged we are. I mean, look at any witch on YouTube. They got a lot of fucked up shit in their past. And some are dealing with it in their present. And you know, they always say, no pain, no gain. How much pain can you go through before you gain something. You know, people my whole life have told me that I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure I get to the next day. But there's been a lot of times in my life where I don't want the next day. I just want to die. I just want to shut it all off and just go to sleep. And I don't want to say that's the wrong decision to make or the wrong choice to make, because how much pain can you really fucking take? Like, what are you gonna gain from going through all of the pain? Are you gonna become stronger and more resilient? That's the common argument a lot of people give. You're gonna become stronger, you're gonna become more resilient, you're gonna become... But it just made me scared. All the time. I can't trust anybody. I never know if they're gonna leave me. I have no idea if I'm gonna make it through the next day. I'm always fucking scared. And I don't think a lot of people understand that or get that. I think you have to go through some really fucking deep shit before you can understand that or get that. I feel things differently than most people. I'm sensitive, ironically. I worry if people like me or care about me, or I worry if I died tomorrow if anyone would care. And I don't think anybody would. I carry so much inside of me. It's like watching roses wilt and someone says they're still beautiful. But then they turn around and throw it in the trash. I feel like those wilted, dead roses. I never mean to cause anybody harm or pain. I think it's this natural instinct of push everything away, because if it gets too close, it'll leave one day and I will have formed all of these attachments and then I'll be alone again. There is a darkness inside, a voice or an entity or something inside that is I'm constantly pushing down because it's always telling me I'm useless and no one cares. And that hurts. See, I grew up my whole life watching people around me die or be abused or abuse me or leave. Can you imagine what it's like to go to school at 12 years old? Black and blue. And lie. because you don't want to be taken away from the only thing you know. But the truth always comes out in one form or another. Can you imagine spending your first night away from home in a group home? Or be transitioned from a group home into a foster home? Or go from that to living on your own and having to figure everything out yourself? My parents, when I was younger, would tell me that my dad was an alcoholic. He was an accountant, but he was an alcoholic, and they would say that he had a thing for children, or presumably had a thing for children. Nobody knows what the real story is. I remember, though, they told me that my mother, before she died, kept searching for love. And she never found it. She had 3 kids, 3 different guys. The second they were born, the guys would leave. And I think a lot of that pain and misery trickled down. And then I had to grow up without a mother or a father. I had an aunt and an alcoholic, very abusive uncle who I called mom and dad because I was 2 years old when my mother died. And I had to grow up watching the abuse. My own brother was taken away when I was like 6 because my uncle beat him so badly that he went to school black and blue. Over nothing. My sister ran away at 18. My house was so volatile. My aunt is in this abusive marriage and she takes it out on us, and my uncle is an alcoholic farmer. I've never had anybody to love me. I mean, who could love this mess? But I did it. I graduated high school and college, and I'm a software developer. You know, I was really afraid of doing this series because, you know, the wrong people, social climbers, and all of them, they're gonna see it. But what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna go back to your private Facebook group and talk about me and make spoof videos about me? See, I'm not as weak as some of you might think I am. I'm not so far gone that I don't pay attention, because I pay attention to like everything. I don't know who I am. And I'm hoping in some way to find out who I am. So I spent a lot of time in my head. You know, I don't particularly care what bitches on the internet are saying about me or not saying about me or whatever the case is, because at the end of the night I can just get baked and go to bed. I mean, let's be real. And I can wake up well rested and work and go out with my friends and but it seems like even on this platform there's so much abuse. It's like we can't get away from it. I can't escape it. And then I hear these stories, and I often think, how the fuck did you get through that? How the fuck did you survive that? I was just a kid. People I looked up to as a kid, the people I trusted, people I'm supposed to get guidance and support from, are so broken. You know, my uncle beat my aunt because she couldn't have kids. She had 3 of them because my mother died. But that wasn't enough. I grew up with nobody loving me. And I think when you grow up with nobody loving you, you expect nobody to care about you. And it's really hard to let somebody in. Regardless of the situation or the, you know. It's really fucking hard. I guess that's why this series is so difficult. Because I have to let you in. My life has never been perfect. And I work so hard every day to put every past thing behind me, but it's so difficult when it's constantly slammed in my face. You know. I forget breathe. Sometimes. I forget how to live. Honestly, I have no idea how the fuck I made it this far in life. 30 years old and bearing my soul to a bunch of strangers that don't give a fuck. Never thought I would see that day come. Let's get on YouTube and tell the world all about how miserable I am. And I'm not saying that Ember Honeyraven is miserable, but I understand why she does everything on Patreon. Even at the expense of her channel and its growth. I don't know who I am. But I'm hoping that we can find out together. I'm hoping that we can find closure, in a way, to a lot of things. And I'm hoping that this helps somebody who might be going through something similar. You know, I set out to do the Witchy Show to share my craft and share what knowledge I have and my opinions, and at the end of the day, I don't think anybody gives a fuck. And I feel alone. And I don't feel wanted or cared about, if that makes sense. Not that I expect anybody to give a fuck about me or the Witchy Show. I mean, everybody has their own fucking life, but I look at some of these other channels that have skyrocketed, and I'm like, left behind. And that hurts a lot. I wish people could see me for me. I wish I had more friends. I wish I was loved. And that leaves such a hole in my heart that I don't know how to fill it. I've always been one to run away from dealing with these types of issues because if I put it out there and I deal with it, then I'm left with an empty void. And I don't know what happiness feels like because I've never experienced it. And I don't know how to experience it. Because I'm constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. And you know, I don't want to wait for the other shoe to drop. I don't want to be that person. Constantly looking over their shoulder, wondering if this person's gonna leave or that person's gonna leave or there's gonna be nothing left or whatever the case is. But it's just not how it works. I'm constantly terrified. All the time. So I don't know who I am. I'm sorry I can't give you an answer. I can't tell you what you want to hear. And that hurts. Because I can't wrap it in a bow for you and deliver it to you. Because I don't know. I honestly don't. But I hope to find out. I hope to find out. Human beings are born and they grow up and eventually, some sooner than others, we die. have to express what it's like. See, some people, they have this voice inside of them, and it encourages them and pushes them and makes them a better person. And some people, when they grow up without love and they grow up without happiness and they grow up in pitch black, void and empty darkness, and they scratch and they fight